Te Waihora is an incredibly special place. It's a diverse place, and there is over 3,000 hectares of public conservation land on its margins. With the arrival of European settlement, they quickly discovered that the surrounding Te Waihora area was very productive land, now dominated by agriculture. The waterways, the slow meandering waterways, have been straightened, narrowed, deepened, and they channel water directly to Te Waihora very quickly. We now have lost a lot of our indigenous vegetation. There is less than 1% indigenous vegetation cover on the Canterbury Plains remaining today. We have lost over 90% of our wetlands nationwide. Here at Te Waihora, we have a unique opportunity to be able to restore some of that environment at scale.
Waihora, for us, it's not just a lake, it's part of whom we are. The wellness of the lake reflects on the wellness of us as an iwi, and it's also of significant mana to us, it being such a world-renowned lake, having so many different types of birds that use Te Waihora in any one year, as well as the huge quantities of fish life. It's of not just national significance, but world significance as well. And so that makes it triply important, not just to iwi, but to Aotearoa katoa.
Since 2018, the Department of Conservation has been leading the delivery of 3 large-scale conservation projects. The Weed Strike Force project aims to protect the existing indigenous wetland vegetation through the removal of invasive weeds and allowing that wetland vegetation to flourish and spread. The 1 Billion Trees and Kuhuria Te Waihora projects are creating indigenous forest corridors wrapping around the Te Waihora margin and connecting to that wetland vegetation. Through Kuhuria Te Waihora, we are establishing an extensive network of trap lines, undertaking predator control and allowing our taonga species to be abundant and thrive.
The vision we have for Te Waihora is to restore the mana and the mauri of Te Waihora and restore it back to the fish basket that it was once.
Restoration at this scale has not been seen before on the Te Waihora margin. It's only possible through the collaboration with iwi, Environment Canterbury, Ministry of Primary Industries, Jobs for Nature, community groups, local landowners, working together with the Department of Conservation to deliver these projects successfully.
Well, I guess our job is looking after the environment. It's in our title, and so one of the things that we need to do is where things are working really well in cooperation with the other agencies is to shine a light on that, and say, look, this is a significant piece of work that's working really well. So what happened is DOC is taking on the responsibility of training staff and their permanent process, and so that does a couple of things. One is that it supplies the continuity across the work, and it also supplies a workforce. And if we get the right funding for those sorts of things, we can do marvellous work. And I know that staff at ECAN are just raving about how good this piece of work is.
This program of work will deliver 350,000 native trees and shrubs planted on the margins of Te Waihora. We'll be controlling animal pests, and we will be well on our way to removing all invasive weeds from the Te Waihora margin.
So I think that there's been so many people that have poured their heart and soul into this project, both as part of the Kuhuria team doing weed control and planting, and also from the nursery growing plants. I like the idea that we are all taking steps towards there being a legacy in 100 or 200 years' time when the plants have fully grown. It's not something that we probably will be able to see the benefit of, but it's really awesome being a part of making something for other people to experience down the future.
In some ways it's a little bit of a forgotten lake, and it does have issues, and I think sometimes people look away, but by creating opportunities for them to come and engage with the site and actually take action, I think it really creates a sense of pride in this local site. I mean, it's beautiful, and more people need to engage with it. We facilitate plant out days where community have the opportunity to connect with nature and learn how to protect it. So I've had students come up to me at the end of a planting day and say that was the best day of their whole school year. I think that everybody who has visited the sites that the Kahuria Te Waihora team have been working on have been absolutely blown away by the hard work that the team have put in and the success of the project. I mean, just look around you.
The lake's always been part of my life, and you know, I remember coming down here when it was covered in weed beds, and you know, it was clear around the fringes, and you could see, you know, trout and flounders and that sort of thing. So it was a pretty long association with the lake, and this property came on the market, and it was sort of interesting, and then I decided that I'd actually switch and try and restore it back to you know, essentially native forest, the majority of it anyway. So in total, probably planted probably close to 8,000 trees.
We need a lot more mahi to go on to restore Waihora back to where it was. So it's essential that we continue the great progress we have made, but we can't stop now.
You know, it just shows what you can get done when you actually collaborate. And it's a really good legacy for us to our ratepayers about where some of their money's being spent. And I think if you come out here and have the opportunity to interact with this environment, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Together we have created amazing momentum. We have one opportunity to build on the work already achieved and to move this momentum forward. We need your support to be able to successfully complete the ecological restoration of the Te Waihora margins.